Hello and welcome to StoryDev. My name is Luke, also known as Tianery, and welcome to another video on UI development. I've brought my microphone closer to my mouth, so hopefully you can actually understand what I'm saying now, compared to the last video. I do apologize for that. Hopefully my last video is still a little legible, hopefully. I do apologize for the sound quality issue, if you could call it that. It's not really a sound quality issue, it's just the fact that I've got filters that remove a lot of background noise in my room, because where I live there's a lot of background noise and I'm trying to filter it out. Well, it's not a huge amount of background noise, but I'm trying to filter it out anyway, to try and make this as legible as possible. Still kind of a work in progress with this microphone, to be fair. I've obviously used this microphone for ages. I've only just started picking this back up again with regards to video content and making video content, but hopefully we'll get back on track with regards to the filters, and you get the idea. Anyway, I wanted to discuss user interface development and start getting back into it. I will actually start by saying that I have obviously had the issue in the past where I've said I've started a project and then I'm going to work on that project and make videos about it, and then suddenly the project just suddenly stops all of a sudden, and then I then start another project and then I start working on some videos with that, and then that ends up going and disappearing down the line. It happens, it happens to developers all the time. Don't make it seem like I'm, wasting your time or anything. I'm really just wasting my own time. It's up to you, obviously, if you want to, watch this video. But the point is there's been lots of attempts at making content on YouTube and trying to make it seem like, I'm trying to work in. I'm hoping I don't decide at some point in the future that I just stop working on this suddenly. I don't want to give that impression, because I myself have been wanting to build something in Odin for a very long time, because I love this language. Absolutely love it. And I'm glad now, actually, now that I've gone back into my previous videos over the last few years, that I've actually, I've seen what I've said before I started making this video, this second one. And I just want to make it clear that although I did stop using Odin after a while, the reason why I stopped was to do with the lack of documentation at the time. There's a lot more documentation now for Odin, so big thumbs up from the Odin community. Thank you very much for that. It does make my life easier when there's a lot more documentation, especially with regards to string management. That was what ultimately pushed me away from Odin for a bit, but now that there's a lot more documentation regarding string management, being able to understand how to alias strings and stuff like this, I can now go into Odin with a fresh mindset, understand exactly what I want, to build in a language with a tool set that actually does the things that I need it to do in order to build the software that I want to make. And that is a big plus for me. So thank you, Odin community, for that. I just wanted to make that very, very clear. Again, no webcam. Again, if you were expecting a webcam, apologies, but webcamless again for this video. Maybe I'd turn it back on in the next video, but for this video we're going to continue. I want to start talking now about user interface development. What did we talk about in the last video? Well, we talked about the differences between immediate mode and retained mode, and I wanted to discuss about how we're going to deal with immediate and retained mode and try and marry the two worlds together. And this is what I'm thinking. So in this video, what I'm going to start talking about is layout logic and actually start implementing it. Now I've got a bit of a thing here where I've got quite a bit of foundations, if you like. So I've got things like styles, text styles, colors, shadows, line styles, gradient, direction, etc. A lot of this obviously hasn't actually been implemented yet, but some of it has. So if we go down here, we go down to our basic drawing routines, I've got things like draw line. That just basically draws a line, obviously. Requiring the line thickness and the color of the border. And then we've got rectangles. So we draw rectangles. This can be a gradient as well. So last procedure, I'm saying function, aren't I? It's not a function, it's a procedure. I do apologize. Procedure. So in this procedure, we've got a solid that's only applicable to lines at the moment. I might expand that later. And then we've also got, like I say, the draw rectangle procedure. We've got the ability to use solid and gradient colors with borders as well. Circles, same again. Triangles, bit more basic, can't use anything other than a solid color. We're not even going to specify whether or not we allow a solid color. We're just going to say take the first color. Doesn't matter if it's specified as solid or not. Text, draw text, just basically draw some text. Simple. And then draw text Unicode. This probably could be a bit more efficient. It probably will do at some point in the future. This is basically doing things every single frame, right? We're declaring two local variables within this context. We're basically creating a dynamic string array and a dynamic vector2 array. We're allocating it on the stack because normally, I believe, Odin will actually allocate this kind of thing on the heap by default if you use make. So it'll allocate it on the heap by default. We're specifying that we're going to be putting it into the temporary allocator. I believe that allocates on the stack. Correct me if I'm wrong. I could be wrong. But we say make. I believe, again, I don't actually know this, I'm just taking a guess here. If you allocate something on the heap, on the stack, or you use the temporary allocator, then Odin will actually delete state names and state ranges automatically at the end of the scope. So I don't need to do something like defer delete, for example. And what this is doing is, it is, like I explained in the previous video, close to the end, is we're actually taking all of the characters that could be drawn as a result of drawing this text. So we're iterating through every single code, or rune, if you like, in this text string, and we're determining whether or not it should be Korean or English. This was purely for testing purposes. Obviously, there'll be more languages. And then it's constructing basically what the name of the language should be and the range. And then once we've worked all that out, we then actually draw the text depending on, which language it should be, and choosing the font, the respective font that supports that language, right? I have tested this. It does work. It's just in the other project that I did have, which is here. I don't think I have this. Actually, what I could do is, because I've got this here, create UI, and I'm passing in regular font, medium font, Korean font. Noto Sans I'm using for the Korean font. I believe that's the only font I can find that supports Korean at the moment. I'm sure there's other fonts. Let's 2 seconds. Sorry, I just needed to take a sip of Coke. Anyway, rule data. So we're taking the Carset Korean full, which is coming from, where is it? It's coming from fonts. Is it input? No, input. Here we are. So we're initializing fonts here, and we're basically taking all of the Korean characters as we expect. And yes, just so you know, I do understand a little bit of Korean. Annyeong, or 안녕하세요, as they say. 만나서 반갑습니다. Anyway, regardless, I do apologize. English, please. Right. Let's see. So, yes, we've got the Korean characters. We grab them. We go and say, draw text Unicode. Shall we test it? Let's test it. Why not? Why not? Let's just give it a bit of a test, just to say that I can definitely do this. Now, yeah, we don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. Right, let's see. So I believe I can just do this. So if I go to Unicode, I do hope I have Korean. Yes, I do. Thank God for that. Let's just switch back to English for a minute so I don't end up drawing random Korean characters. Let's see. So, what are we looking for? Forgotten now. So we want a position. Let's just. Well, oops. Didn't mean to do that. 2020. Let's just do that for now. I believe vector 2 is literally just a distinct enum, or a distinct structure, I believe, if I remember correctly. Can't remember now. Font size, I think that's 2. Text, right, here we are. So we'll go hello here, and then let's see, let's switch to Korean. That's not Korean. Japanese. Oops. Right, let's see. If I remember correctly, it is that. No. I don't actually have a Korean keyboard, so I'm having to guess here. Where's A? Am I going mad? No. No. I must be going mad. That's yeah. No. Hold on. What's going on? Where's my A at? There it is. Right. Young would have been this one. And young. There we go. That'll do. Back to English. Right. Was there another one? I can't remember now. Style. Yeah, that's the one. Let's make a temporary style here. Style. See. Style. The only thing I don't like about this language is the forced backslashes. Let's see. So we want a text color. No. It's not that. It's equals. Excuse me. Is it text color? Hold on. Forgetting my own API now. Hold on. No, it's not. It's text style. I'm just going to copy this. Make it easier. That's color and then it's color. Yeah. text, style, color. Keep doing that. And equals, not that. Right. Do it here as well. So I want here methods equal to solids and colors equal to dynamic rl dot color, and I'm literally just going to put here, let's just make it white. In fact, I can literally just do this, right? rl dot white. Do that. That'll do. Wrong with this. Oh yeah. Wrong with this. Undeclared name method. Hold on. Wait for it. RL. Oh, thinking is a dynamic for some reason. No, it is. So I don't need method. Thinking of something else here. I'm going mad. Do this, please. Is that right? No. What am I doing? That. Right, there we go. We'll get there in the end. Right. So we'll test this. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's have a look. I'm just going to do Odin run. And there you go. We see it. We see it. It's not very big, actually. Let me adjust that a minute. Let me adjust. I am going mad. Try that again. No. Why is that so? This looks so small. Oh. I'm an idiot. Got to modify it there. Never mind. Let's see. Well, it'll be very big now. There you go. Why does the Korean look better than the other font? It looks better than the other font. Hello, hi. Sure. That's interesting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well. So, oh, that'll be why. Sure. Wait. Let's make this EX. I'm sure it'll look better now. Apologies for this. Yeah, 0. We're using English characters. We can use the default ASCII car set. I'm sure it'll be fine. Let's see. Where am I going? Oh, I closed the thing. What did I do that for? Empty. There we go. That looks better. Would you look at that? Anti-alias and everything. Anyway, so yeah, we're rendering hello and hi in Korean. How's that for drawing Unicode text, hey? All in one go. Don't even need to think about it, you know? That's the idea. Anyway. Whatever. My time for bragging has come to an end. Right. Anyway, so let's actually start looking at layout logic. So as I was discussing in the previous video, we were talking about potentially getting, what was I saying? Yes, the ability to work out the layout of things and being able to put components into their respective places, right? Now, the way I'm thinking of this, as I mentioned in the previous video, is actually instead of querying the components themselves on whether or not it's been clicked or not, or where the mouse position is, etc., instead we query the layout. Now, I can't think of anything off the top of my head of why that would be a bad idea, at least not at the moment, but we shall see. We shall see. I can't think of anything why that would be a bad idea. Not right now. I'm sure someone can think of something. Sure someone can. So this is the core. So we know most of this works, right? Let's have a look at UI. I started work on this. I started going somewhat heavily retained and then decided this was a bad idea. Let's take a step back and look at it again because it's not going down the path I really want it to. So let's have a look at layout. So what we're thinking of, because obviously everything is pretty much focused primarily around rectangles, right? Almost everything. Almost everything is a rectangle when it comes to processing things. Now I've got things like positions and sizes for the widgets, but I'm thinking instead of doing this, we do something else. Now, I'm going to ignore this for the time being and look at something like containers. Let's look at creating ourselves a struct, which is a container, and that container can have rectangles in it. Literally rectangles. I'm going to call this dimensions, which we are going to say is going to take a series of rectangles. Let's make this dynamic because this could be any size. And we'll leave it like that. So what I'm thinking in terms of dimensions and all is we're going to have two different contexts. So you'll have the context of you're looking at the screen initially and you're working out where things should go relative to the screen. Then you start looking at things that of where they want to go relative to each container. But when it comes to our actual UI, we want everything to be linear so that we can refer to any one of these elements or layouts, if you like, at any point, regardless of what it is. So I'm going to have dimensions here. Maybe instead I use int. Yeah, let's use an int because what I'm going to do. So if I go to UI, let's see, we've got widgets here. I'm going to change this now to the dynamic of, let's say, layout element. I don't know. Let's say it's called layout. And let's call this, in fact, no, don't do that. I'll change that later. Let's call this layout. This is going to be a dynamic of, let's create a new structure. what do I call it? I'll just call it element for now. I can't think of anything else. I'll think of something different, I'm sure. Or layout element, that'll do, whatever. Whatever. So let's have a look. This is going to be hard. Do we say position and size, or do we give it dimension? So the reason to call it position and size was originally down to there being the original option of calculating the size first and working out the position later. Do we need that in this context now? Or do we have content size, actual size, position? That would make sense, especially if we're looking at containers, right? Let's do that. We'll change it later if we need to. Content size, vector 2, actual size, or let's not say actual size, physical size, rl.vector2, and position, vector2. Let's make this layout element then. Layouts. No, just call it layout elements. Yes, layout elements. That's better. That's much better. Do you think that's better? I think it's better. Thank you. Thank you for your assistance and your opinion. I may not be able to hear you, but I'm going to assume you agree with that. Okay. Let's see. So we're going to ignore widgets and we're just going to focus on layout elements. So what I'm thinking here, I'm going to use this because this is actually useful. So we've got flow direction and flow behavior. So the idea behind this was to have some kind of automated flow in layouts, right? I'm going to have this back here. So let's say auto flow. I'm going to make that a boolean, and what I'm then going to do, actually, I'm not going to do this. No, I'm not going to do this. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to say start index, end index, and you'll understand what I mean by that. Later. Why am I thinking of containers first and not the actual components? And that's mainly because we're thinking of the screen initially, so we're working from the screen. So everything we do at the moment is based on what we're looking at when we're looking at the screen. Because this is how we think as developers, right? We always think of things relative to what relative to the context in which we're currently working in, right? So we want to try and stick to that principle. So if we're saying we want to work from the screen, then we're going to have, say, some kind of like screen-based dimension procedures, let's say, for lack of a better use of terminology in this context. What I'm going to do, I'm going to say, so basically here we're just going to have some utility functions to say where we want our, say, root layouts. So you'll have like, a series of layouts that exist on the root. That's the screen itself. So everything that's relative to the screen. And then you'll have the levels, other containers within those layouts, and the components themselves. That's how it's going to work. And then once we get to component level, that's the end, right? But it's still a flat hierarchy because we're working linearly. That makes sense? Okay. We've got screen-based dimension procedures. So in this case, we've got... So... we want to create dimensions initially, or create layouts. So in this case, what I'm going to have is I'm going to say create... create layout. So we're just going to have a standard typical layout that we're just going to say we have a position and we have a size, right? File vector 2. Oops. And we give that element back. Or do we? Do we give the layout element back, or do we give the integer, the index? Well, we do have multi returns, so let's take advantage of it. Let's just give both. Why not? Let's just give both the layout element and the integer. And actually, should we... do I want to heap allocate layout element? It's not that complicated. I mean, what is the size? It's literally 64. It's not that large. Like, it's literally a couple of bytes, right? It's not even, nowhere near a kilobyte. It's like a kilobit. I mean, yeah, it's really, really small. Very small structs. We don't really need to think about memory in this case. If it became like really complicated, the structure of something became really, really complicated and really, really large, like, you know, UI, that's naturally going to be really large, then we would probably consider heap allocating. But it depends. It depends. I think, excuse me. Although if we are heap allocating UI at some point, everything within this context is also going to be heap allocated. But I suppose if we keep it like in this context, yeah. This will, so we're still going to, okay, so what I'm going to do, right, because there's a global thing. The global thing is this, instance.ui, right, which we create using create UI. And the UI, I believe, is heap allocated. Yes, we do heap allocate UI. It's here. Although that's not, wait, no, that's not heap allocated. That's not heap allocated. Should be. I think I want this heap allocated. I think I do. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Give me a moment. Make this heap allocated. There's a few things I need to change here, so this needs to be like that. Wherever you do ampersand G and change it. So get rid of that. Okay, that basically fixed everything. That was easy. Thought there was going to be more issues. Okay. In that case, then, yeah. I think this is the best thing to do, personally. Maybe I'm wrong. But should be fine. reason why I'm heap allocating is because I expect there to be huge amounts of data, basically. Especially for very large, complex user interfaces. But regardless. Anyway. So we create a layout. What are we doing here? We are doing this. I'm going to create a layout. Which is going to be constructed on the stack. In this instance, I'm going to say layout dot. Huh? Oh, because vector 2 is technically kind of inlined, isn't it? That's why it doesn't. Whatever. Physical size equal to size. When we do this, I think we're taking a copy, right? I'll leave content size out for the time being, actually. And then we'll say position equal to pass. And then what we'll do, we'll say and UI dot take grass of it. UI dot what is it? Layout elements. Layout like this. And then we're going to get a reference to that. So we'll say ref is UI dot lan UI -1, right? So return ref index. Change that to index, please. Here, like that. There we are. So we construct a layout, we add it to layout elements, and then we get the index and the reference. So that's all we're doing in this context. Because the reason why we can't return a reference within this context is because this is being constructed on the stack, and once we leave this, the scope of this procedure, layout becomes out of scope. So we can't return the reference to this directly. We have to reference the layout within the array that we've just added to. Let's do something a bit more useful. So we can create a layout, but this isn't particularly useful because we can say, well, we want a position and a size, but maybe we want something that kind of automates that to an extent. So let's say we want to create layouts. What this basically means is we're saying we want to take the full width of the string. So in that case, we don't need a position. We actually need a Y position. Y and what else? Height. A Y and a height. Lovely. What we always want. Don't ask. Do not ask what I'm on. That would be weird. Let's see. So we'll do the same thing, but we're doing some of the calculations ourselves. In fact, no, don't bother copying it. Don't be stupid. Come on, come on, come on. Think. Think, right? So we already know the position. We know that's going to be 0. We know that the width is going to be RL dot get render width, right? So now what we need is to basically return create layout. Yes, exactly. Just return this. And what we're going to do here is position, it's X, Y, and our size is going to be width, height. Why did I need to think about that? I don't know. Don't ask me why. That needs to be an F32. That needs. That doesn't. That needs. Although this also needs. Actually, I could just make that F32, right? Right. Yeah. Okay. We'll do the same for height as well. Right. Get render heights. Very simple. Very simple. What do we need? Yes, we need to switch that around. This is casting, by the way, in case you are aware of what I'm trying to do here. I am casting variables. Right. I hope the text size isn't too bad. I'll zoom in just so you can see what I'm doing. You might not have been able to see what I was doing before. I apologize. So, can you read that now? Is that readable? Let me know in the comment section if this is readable now or if this is too big. Let me know. Okay. Got create layout, W, create layout, width, height. Okay. Let's now try, let's see. I'm thinking we want to start working on, say, a grid layout. Maybe we want a grid layout in screen context, but we could also have it within a dimension as well, or a layout, I should say. I think we're kind of done with this for screen-based dimension procedures. I mean, we can do grids, but that's really, I think, to be honest. Or, oh, this is tricky. You know what, I'll do both for now. And we will refactor later if we need to. So in this case, what I'm literally just going to do is say create layout, grid. And what I'm going to do here, because, or I am thinking long and hard about this. Why am I thinking about this so hard? Because here's what I'm thinking. If we create a grid, what are we doing exactly? Well, technically, we're creating a series of layout elements that represents the grid cells. Okay? This is what I'm thinking. So we're not creating a layout. We're creating multiple layouts. So in actuality, what I really want is there to be layout grid, not create layout, which takes one of our layout elements. And that layout element basically represents the container for the grid, but doesn't contain, but is not the grid cells. It's just the container, right? Makes sense. So in this case, what I want is the container, which is going to be our layout element, followed by the number of columns we want and the number of rows we want. Let's simplify that. And in this instance, we're taking instead an array of layout elements and an array of integers, right? Hopefully that makes some sense. So I'm going to call this fixed. The reason being is because I'm basically saying in this context, we're saying we want a fixed number of columns and a fixed number of rows, which is based on the total width and height of the container, right? Respectively. So the width of each cell, so cell width, right, is going to be equal to container dot physical size dot x divided by columns, right? What we're doing. And what I'm gonna do for simplicity's sake. What am I doing? Simplicity's sake, I'm literally just gonna. Oh, please stop. I'm gonna basically be clamping this, or truncating is technically the terminology I'm wanting here. And cell height should probably use floor. Yeah, let's use floor. Where would floor be? What's the Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Oh my god, he's scrolling. How dare you? Import. Can't type. What's wrong with me? Core. Maths. Math. Bloody Americans. Actually, Ginger Bill. He's British, right? So say maths, not math. Come on. Ginger Bill, what are you doing? Making my life hard. Anyway. So I need math dot. No, I don't. What's the. Got what I'm doing now. Odin, where are you? Packages. Let's have a look. Core library. Math. Where's floor? I want floor, please. Floor. It's a procedure group. Okay. That's useful. What about the actual procedure? Right. I'm confused. What? Maybe it's just being stupid on purpose. Maybe it's just autocomplete not liking me. That's probably it. Probably. Ambiguous procedure. Oh, whatever. Whatever. F32. Do that, please. Fine. Well, F32, both of them. Does that make you happy? Thank you. And same for Rose. Why? Thank you. Much appreciated, much obliged. Right. What am I doing? What am I talking about? I don't really know. Anyway, we've already got our create layout. So what I'm going to do is we have a position. So we have start X, which is going to be equal to our container physical. No, it's not. Position rather. Start X. Start Y. Container dot position Y. Right. Oops. What I'm going to do, so I'm just going to iterate through each of these. I'm just going to, we're going to do the Y first. So that's going to be 0 dot dot less than columns. Right. Like this. X in 0 dot dot less than rows. Wait, what am I doing? No, this is rows and the other one's columns. Mad. I am going mad. So technically what we're doing is we're doing each row. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? I hope. So in this case, I'm saying layouts, create layouts, right? Going to give our position, which is going to be X, Y, followed by cell width and no, what am I doing? Size is then cell width, cell height. We do that. Oh yeah. Don't care about the index. Let's see. So we want that, and then what we want to do is say, what? Why did I just say we don't care about the index? Of course we care. What am I doing? Index. Shh. For me. What I'm going to do is this. Can I do runtime sizes of arrays like in C#? Can I? Let's see. No. God damn it. That's actually painful. I'm sorry to say it, but it is. It is. Why am I do that? Wait a minute. Hold on. I got that wrong initially. No. Okay, fine. Whatever. I'll do. I don't want to make it too complicated for myself. I'm sure there is a way, but I'm not going to look into it right now. Let's just keep it simple. And I'll make no, keep it on the heap. What else was I thinking? Indices. That's the one. That's the one. So what we want to do now is this. An array. Thank you. Array, I mean pointer. So in this context, what I'm going to do is say if x index plus 1 equal to columns, then what I'm going to do here is say start x is 0, else start x plus equals cell width, right? And the same in this instance, I'm going to say if y index plus 1 equal to rows. But that shouldn't ever be, we don't really need to do that. I'm just going to do height like that, and then we'll return elements and indices like that. So that's the idea. Layout grid fixed. We'll keep it like that for now. Not going to go too complicated for the time being. And yeah, I think I'll split this video up, so I'll leave it here for the time being and go into the next video a bit later. So yeah, that's going to be it for the time being. We'll continue layouts when I have a chance tomorrow, and continue work on this because I am actually enjoying myself, strangely enough. Actually making these videos now, strangely enough. I am. Okay, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.